Yeah, hello and welcome. This is John Mason with Masters of the Journey. This is the part 2 of our May 16th monthly Masters meeting. And today we're talking a little bit about enlightenment, which we did in part 1. We, of course, in case you didn't participate or didn't hear it, there were 16 steps to guaranteed enlightenment. So if you go back and read the blog or look at that video, it's guaranteed your money back. You will be completely enlightened. If you're probably already there anyhow. You just don't remember how enlightened you really are. So what we're here to talk about in the second part is open-heartedness. And the background on this is my friend and a mentor to me, JJ Joshua, did a videotape, a 10-minute videotape where she discussed open-heartedness. And she was triggered by some life events. I was triggered by this video. I created a blog, and I'm going to have JJ give a little bit of background about where all that came from. And a little bit later, I'm going to show you the blog so that it might save you taking some notes, because I tried to record a lot about what I saw and heard, and I'll provide the link for you to watch that video. So welcome, JJ. I'm really glad that you're on the call today. And again, I was pretty excited. I'd rather have it come straight from I'm not going to say horse's mouth, straight from you. How did that subject come up for you?
Well, here we are, John. Now we're 15 months into our COVID world, and particularly the winter of 2020, 2021, those 4 months, I was noticing that I was shrinking. I was shrinking in my joy. I wasn't able to get to the gym and do things that I would normally do. And I was just watching my own contraction, because I think that's a natural thing. We contract. Just the whole principle of yoga is the muscles will contract unless you actively stretch them. So I was just feeling a little contracted in my own joy and open-heartedness. And then I had some simple events, just very simple events that came on that just opened my heart so hugely. I watched a video of a man doing an amazing dance with American Sign Language with such beauty and such passion. It just busted my heart open and actually rose my levels of joy and openness beyond anything that I had ever seen before, ever experienced inwardly as before. And that's all mentioned in my video on my YouTube station, JJ Joshua, for Thoughtful Thursday. So when I had that explosion, John, into a newer level, it's like, well, you got to share it with people. And what I know about, well, let's just take a moment to think about the last time you felt really open-hearted, and what does open-hearted actually feel like? And can you think of a time, John, anybody have that feeling where it's almost kind of an innocent feeling, like you're just present and your heart is open. And one of the aspects of open-heartedness is lack of expectation. You're not expecting anything. You're not wanting anything. It's just everything that's there is fine. And so everybody just take in a deep breath, if you would, with me, and put your shoulders up and then let them drop. Breathe in and let them drop. And just visualize your whole auric field and your heart, literally your heart center, but the heart of your soul just opening gently. And think of a time when your heart very clearly opened and how you felt. And how that might have made people around you feel. Just kind of get that in your mind. And then now I'd like to demonstrate something very clearly about open-heartedness does require intention. So what I'd like for you to join me with is take one of your hands and just put it in a fist and hold it as tight as you possibly can. Hold it, hold it, hold it as tight and tight, tighter than that, tighter, not yet, don't release it yet. Keep holding, tighten up. So this is a defensive heart, right? This is when we're defending against the world. But the simple of now, I'm going to ask you in just a second to release the clench, but don't move the hand. Just release the pressure and leave it in that posture. Okay, you can go ahead and do that now. Now, you're still got the fist going, but you can feel those muscles have already kind of locked down, right? Now start to open it up very slowly, that hand. And can you notice something interesting? How much effort it takes to open that hand. So the lesson here in the normal ego world we run around in is it's really easy to clench and stay in that clenched place, but to open requires some effort and some focus. So that's what I mean is open-hearted, loving, joyous, non-judgmental, and that I think our physical health, or certainly our mental health and those around us, we would just enjoy our lives more if we walked around this way instead of this way. Does that make sense, John?
That's a great exercise and a great demonstration of how tight we can hold ourselves. And again, from the first part when we were talking about enlightenment, just being aware is half the battle, that we're that contracted and that we're holding in. And then letting go, it's not always that easy to just release. And I'm going to do a screen share, and I was taking notes and writing things down from the video that JJ provided, and so I'm going to add that to the screen right now. And it was published this week, May 13th. You don't have to write all of this down because it's all written down for you. It's on my blog page, which is at www.destress.com/blog, and that's just the letter D in front of the word stress. And on May 13th, that blog, Open Heartedness, I tried to capture the spectacular job that JJ did in the video. And if you want a link to her video, I'm just going to tell you that there's a link to her website at the bottom of that blog, and there's a direct link to that 10-minute video so you can see JJ doing this. And she gave 4 really great tools towards moving towards a state of open-heartedness. And then I sort of added the 5th one, but it was also sort of there in the video as well. JJ, do you want to talk us through that at all?
Sure, it is so simple. Just like we were talking about earlier about enlightenment, if you have the awareness and you just set a clear intention, like, yo, universe, today, I'm choosing to walk through my day open-hearted. And we all know what that feels like. I was just a quick example. I was just taking a walk right behind my apartment here the other day. And, I was kind of in my busy list mind and I had to get back for an appointment. But all of a sudden, a goldfinch flew in front of me. And I just so love goldfinches. They're like the flying gold stars from God. I just love those little guys. And my heart just went, a goldfinch. It just instantly opened me up, really opened me up. It's not like I was closed down, but I was just kind of in my mental listing. And I was like, well, my goodness, I can live in that open-hearted goldfinch moment the rest of my day. I can do that. So setting the intention, literally, the universe really loves clarity. So when you say, yo, I want to walk through this day, no matter what happens, no matter what the news is or the weather is, I'm going to be open-minded and open-hearted. And then walking around in the attitude of gratitude, we all know how powerful that is. And that helps keep the open-heartedness open. And what I've actually seen clairvoyantly when I'm working with clients is that when we're over here in a pain situation or a contraction of any kind, or even trauma, and we start to practice gratitude, it literally builds the bridge to our higher self. Energetically, it's like, oh, the bridge was out before, but now I start my gratitudes and I can get there. So then you've got a friend, then you've got a higher friend that's helping you to keep that open heart. And then looking for open-heartedness opportunities. I said on the video, life is like a Google search. If you're looking for it, you're going to find it. Open-hearted people. I mean, every one of you here is open-hearted. John, you're open-hearted every week, all that you do to keep this community together. And then my favorite is forgiveness. If we can forgive ourselves faster and faster, forgive others. And there's two spiritual truths that help us forgive. And even Viktor Frankl, he didn't mention these two laws, but he mentioned the experience of it when he was in the concentration camps. Looking for joy is, even in the midst of that horror, will open your heart. And basically, the cliff notes for forgiveness is to remember that everything that happened in the only way it could have. Well, duh, right? If it could have been another way, it would have been another way. So it happened that way, accept it, let it be. And then the second one is everyone, no matter what their behavior is, this goes for, psychopathic murderers to Mother Teresa, everyone is doing the best they can with what they know. And I repeat those to myself many times during the day, so that it helps me step back from being trapped by opinion and position, when I realize that that's all we're all doing. We're trying to survive the best way we know how. And then, John, I love your bonus suggestion, so you get to go there.
So you did say in the video, kindness, acts of kindness set, in my opinion, these are my words, set off a chain reaction of more kindness and goodness. And if we get in the way and we start having some sort of resentment, it blocks our ability to share love, to share joy, to share kindness. So let's be aware of that and find a way to go out of our way to be good to the souls and the spirits of the people that we bump into. If nothing else, that concept of namaste, to honor the perfection and the soul of their spirit, and know that we're all in this together. And our open-heartedness starts that chain reaction of allowing other people to be open-hearted, to have you as a role model, to have you as a demonstration of what is possible, and how that can really stand out, and be a benefit. There are so many times in our world when somebody pays it forward, and you pull up to the Starbucks drive-through, and the guy in front of you has paid your bill. He paid that, and then you want to pay for the next person, and right. And it starts this whole pay it forward attitude. And I think that that's what demonstrating kindness is all about. Of course, that's a financial thing. I think you don't have to do that. Sometimes in this
just
world,
opening a door for someone, just picking up groceries that somebody dropped, just something very kind. And the Dalai Lama says that his religion is kindness.
It's just a smile,
yeah,
and an acknowledgement that you see and appreciate a person that's in front of you. To look into their eyes, try to connect, and just smile, because there's some quality, there's something about them that you love and honor and acknowledge. So let's consider doing that. And again, I'm going to put these links to JJ's work into the notes of this video on YouTube, so that you'll have links to click on to get more information.
And if any of you would like to get on my mailing list, if that's okay to share, John?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go to my website, jjforinsight.com, and you sign up for your free gift, you'll get 2 really rockin' handouts about how to transcend emotional triggers. And that'll get you on my mailing list. Then you can get the little Thoughtful Thursdays that come through every Thursday. Um, but yeah, you feel free to join up and or just go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to that, JJ Joshua. So thanks, John. Thanks again so much.
Well, yeah, and you can get to her YouTube channel from her website, which again is JJ4 FOR Insight, all one word, jj4insight.com. And again, that's JJ. Those are just the, in case you can't see it, it's just the 2 letters, JJFOR Insight.com. And if
and
you
just
want
click
to,
on the video blog and you can see all my Thoughtful Thursdays in one place there.
yeah, and if you want to find this blog, destress.com, go to the blog, and there's one that comes out every week, so you're going to get lost, but this one's on May 13th of 2021. And thank you, JJ, for that. Now, did anybody have, I'm going to do away with the screen share for right now. Did anybody have any thoughts or feedback about open-heartedness that you want to share? Oh, psychically, I'm just overwhelmed. There's so much going on. Please, not all at once. Everybody's flooding me psychically. Okay.
Well,
Paula.
Thanks, Paula.
I had a couple of thoughts that came up, and I like that exercise about having the fist that's open and the one that's tight and it's closed, and and how difficult it was to open it. When you I would tend to believe that when your heart is closed and when you're tight like that, your whole body,
Yeah,
there's a part of you unconsciously that's tight and
right.
it's affecting you. And I think that might cause certain illnesses to occur because you're tight.
Yeah.
Where if you're relaxed, if you're open, then you have to be relaxed to be open. If you're relaxed, then your body thanks you for that too.
Mm-hmm. And thanks for saying that, Paula, because really, actually, if you're starting to feel yourself contracting just by the weight of the day, just literally doing this, opening your arms up and your head up and put a smile on your face and thank it, you will automatically shift into a more open space.
Thank you. And this whole concept of open-heartedness, I don't think it's unfamiliar. Maybe that word is not one that you use. I know that until I heard JJ say that on the video, I don't think I had ever used that word. Open,
Really?
open-hearted, but not open-heartedness. And it's, in my opinion, it goes along with the practice of spiritual consciousness and development. It's a step or a demonstration that you're willing to move beyond some of the limitations that we have in the 3-dimensional body and mind and culture that we live within. And I think it means that we're really open to connecting, to sharing, to forgiving, to really being available at a much higher level. And I love the fact that you did it so concisely in 10 minutes, JJ. Thank you.
JJ, do you think that whether you have to have your heart open or closed has to do with your willingness to feel?
Yeah, absolutely, Paula. And that would also, that if you follow that trajectory, if somebody's been deeply traumatized, they don't feel safe to feel. And so sometimes there needs to be an intervention, real professional intervention to help people open up. And I think also, I'm glad you said that, not willingness, not just willingness to feel, but also willingness to be vulnerable, to be open and innocent, and that no matter what happens, you know, just to be that vulnerable kind of childlike place. Yeah, I think you're right. There has to be some willingness to maybe be in the discomfort zone for a little while.
It's so interesting in my life when I've made a mistake, not a fatal flaw because I'm still here, but if I've made a mistake or failed at something or had a really hard time, I really have learned a lot. I've learned more from the hard times than from the successes. And I mean, everything about it. Now, some of you know that my wife passed away in 2012, and she'd been ill for 8 years. There were so many painful things. I'm not a victim. We weren't victims, but there was so much to learn. And now I have so much empathy and so much to give coming out of that experience. So I would not wish it on anyone else. But for me, I wouldn't trade it either. It was something that was so important. And each one of you has survived those traumatic life experiences, those real difficult times, and you have something really important to share. And that's why we do this. We need to find a witness, somebody to listen, but we have the ability to teach and share, and we learn more by putting ourselves in that position. So again, it goes along with this. Be open-hearted coming out of a trauma is definitely a challenge, and I think it's so important. And you know, I think of all of the people who have had near-death experiences, not everyone talks about it, and some people don't talk about it articulately, or some people are afraid to share for whatever reason. But it's a blessing, the people who have, because it seems to resonate. It seems to be consistent on some levels. There's a lesson for us to hear their story and to feel as they communicate what that experience was like for them. It's not just their unique and individual thing. It then becomes a lesson and message for all of us to learn from. And we can do that if we're open-hearted and willing to share. Those kind of blessings and wisdom can be passed on. Thank you. Any other comments about open-heartedness right now? Then I love that we had a chance to talk about this today. I'm going to stop the recording, and then we can have our personal conversation and sharing. And
Tom, before you stop the recording,
yes,
I think it'd be fun if we could all make the heart sign together on the screen. Open-heartedness. Yeah, thank you guys. That just opened my heart right there.
Open.
Good one. Yeah.
Thank you, JJ. Thank you, Paula. Thank you for everybody for participating.